स्वागतम् अद्य बृहस्पतिवासरः दिनाङ्कः प्रथमः तृतीयस्य मासस्य 1st of March 2012 रघुवंशकाव्यं 12 सर्गः मङ्गलाचरणम् रामो राजमणिः सदा विजयते रामं रमेशं भजे रामेणाभिहता निशाचरचमो रामाय तस्मै नमः रामान्नास्ति परायणं परतरं रामस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम् रामे चित्तलयः सदा भवतु मे भो राम मामुद्धर राम रामेति रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने श्रीराम नाम वरानन ओन्नमेति अथ श्री माहेश्वर सूत्राणि अ इ उन् रुल् रुक् ए ओङ् ऐ औच हयवरट् लण् ञम ङ न नम जबञ् गडदश जब गडदश ख फ छ छ थ च ट थ क पै श श सर हल इति माहेश्वर सूत्राणि. Looking at the अष्टाशीतितमः श्लोकः 88th verse. We did this verse last time. I think we just started that. Udghratitah श्लोकः. Let's read again. Let's read it one more time. भुज मूर्धोरु बाहुल्यादेकोऽपि धनदानुजः तदृशे ययथा पूर्वो मातृवंश इव स्थितः. सुभुज मूर्धोरु बाहुल्यादेकोऽपि धनदानुजः तदृशे ययथा पूर्वो मातृवंश इव स्थितः. So Padacheda is Bhuja Murdhoru Bahulyat Ekaha Hi Ayatha Purvaha Matruvamshe Ivasthitaha. It's Matruvamshe Ivasthitaha. So it's Echoyavayavaha followed by Lopashakalyasya. And that is the Tripadi section. It becomes Purvatara Siddham. So there is no Ad Gunaha after that. So this Sandhi comes in the Bhagavad Gita. I think I have mentioned that previously. It comes in chapter 10. It also comes in chapter 3, I think. The same Sandhi comes in Gita. As always, Gita is our home base. So here it says that Yesham Loka Imaha Prajaha. Loka Imaha. It is Loke Imaha. Loke Imaha Prajaha. So Loke becomes Echo Yava becomes Lokai Imaha, and then Lopashakalyasya, and then after that it is that Yakar Lopa Asiddha, so we cannot do Adguna after that. So these are simple things. We should practice these. The Lopashakalyasya is 8.3, I think 8.3.19. Lopashakalyasya 8.3.19. So that's the Yakar Lopa. Also comes in one more place in Gita at least. Guna guneshu vartanta iti matva nasajjate tattavittu mahavaho. So it comes in Guna guneshu vartanta. So let me check that. Vartanta. Here it is. Guna guneshu vartanta iti matva nasajjate. 328 in Gita. Same thing. Vartante iti becomes vartanta iti. Same thing there. And then one more thing. Indriyani indriyartheshu vartanta iti dharin. Chapter 5 of Gita. And one more. Udasina vadasino guneryo na vichalyate guna vartanta ityeva yovatishtati nengate. So in fact we have chapter 3, chapter 5, chapter 10, chapter 14. So number of places in Gita this Sandhi has occurred. So because Echoyavayavaha Lopashakalyasya. Okay, so Matruvamshe Ivasthitaha. Simple sentence is Dhanadanujaha. Dhanadasya Anujaha. The younger brother of Kuberaha, Ravanaha. Dadrishe. Simple sentence is that. Now we know from Dhatu Pasha that Dhatu Drish is a Parasmipadi Dhatu. Look at Dhatu Drish and Dhatu Pasha. Let's see in Dhatu Pasha, because how do we decide Parasapadam Atmanipadam? Because of 1.3.12 Anudhatanyita Atmanipadam. So if there's an it letter which gives the which signals Atmanepadam, then we know it is Atmane. But otherwise, default Sheshat Kartari Parasya Padam. And again, this is all in Kartari Pragaha. This Karmani we have to use 1-3-13 Bhava Karmanoho. So here Drishya is Dhatu number 1143. Let's see what it has. It is Drishya Prekshane. Drishya Prekshane. 1143. So it is here. Let's see. 1143. Okay. Drishya Prekshane, and that does not have, this is Udatta It. Look, remember, we're looking at the Swara on the It letter now. Never confuse these two. The Swara on the It letter dictates the Padam Vyavastha, Atmanepadam Parasya. Indicates whether it is a Anit Dhatu, Set Dhatu. In this case, the Rikaraha is Dhatoho Rikaraha as the Anudatta Swaraha. So therefore, by 7 to 10, Ekacha Upadeshe Nudattat will be Anit Dhatu. But the It letter, the Ikaraha, as you can see, Upadeshe Janu Nasika It, it is Udatta. So this is a Parasipadi Dhatu. So then what do we see over here? We see that here, but we see Atmanepadam being used in Shlokaha. So what does that tell us? We should be ready that this is likely a passive usage. So he was seen. Because see, what happens is that this sutram, which is Sarvadhatuke Yak, that is like, if you see, for example, if you take Lat Lakara, we'll get Pashyati as Kartri Pragaha, and we get Drishyate as Karmani Pragaha. But that Drishyate is because the sutram Sarvadhatuke Yak. Sarvadhatuke Yak is only, as the sutram says, Sarvadhatuke. So that is only comes Sarvadhatuke. That passive marker Yak, it only comes Sarvadhatuke. Because now we're talking about Lit Lakara, I have a sutram Litcha, which is 34115. So the Tibadayaha, when they come in place of Lit, in spite of things Sarvadhatukam, the tip, etc., dhatus, they will be Ardhadhatuka Sanyaha. So therefore, we cannot expect Sarvadhatuka Yak to come over here. So our only indication is the Atmanepadam. So what I'm trying to drive it is that the Atmanepadam is the indication here. This is a passive usage by Bhava Karmano. Okay, so you should learn to spot that usage. You learn to spot that usage, that this, if we have Atmanepadam and the Dhatu is not Atmanepadi, then we have to check if this is a passive usage. Very important lesson here. So the same meaning becomes Dhanasyanujaha Ravanaha Dadrishe. He was seen. He was seen. Not that he saw, but he was seen. He was seen. And how was he seen? Oyatha Purvaha. As not before. As he was not before. Oyatha Purvaha. Now here you see Muninatha himself gives the Vigravakyam. Yatha Bhutaha Purvam. Yatha Purvaha. And he also tells us immediately Supsupeti Samasaha. In fact, it's a very nice connection. The Panineha Anugrahena Ayam Kramaha Praptaha. So it is, we have this Anvayaha Praptaha Smabhi. We have the connection, which is that yesterday's class, we just studied the Avyabhava Samasaha. And that time we remarked that Avyabhava Samasa has three things there. The entire Samastam Padam is an Avyayam. And Prayena, the Pura Padam is also an Avyayam. And the entire samasa is Napumsaka Lingam, which means that 1-247 Rasa Napumsake Pradipadikasya. Now here we have Yatha Purvaha. Of course we have Ayatha Purvaha. That's only a negation compound. We can do that later. But Yatha Purvaha. So Yatha Purvaha, we have an Avyam as the Pura Padam. But clearly this is not the Samastam Padam is not an Avyam. Because Ayatha Purva is clearly Pullinga Prathama Ekavachanam, it's qualifying Ravana. So this is not a Avyabhava Samasa. Just in yesterday's class we were discussing in detail about how Yatha can be used in Avyabhava Samasa, but the most important thing is that the Avyabhava Samasa, as the name implies, Anavyayam Avyam Bhavati. So that creates a Avyayam. So this is not an Avyayam. So this is a nice check for us, is that this is not Avyabhava Samasa. Now what kind of Samasa is this? What kind of Samasa is this? This doesn't fall in any special category. So as he was before and not as he was before. This is not because this Purvam is really, this is not Tatpurusha Samasa. It's not Tatpurusha Samasa really. It is not a Bahuvrihi. It's not a Dvandvaha. Not a Avirbhava Samasa. So therefore, it says Sup Supa iti Samasaha. Now what is Sup Supa iti Samasaha? Is we have seen that Adhikara very in great detail is when Panini starts the Adhikara of Samasaha, which goes from 2-1 to 1. So there, what does Panini say? First he says Prakadarat Samasaha, and the very first thing says Sup Sahasupa. Sahasupa. Because Anuvritti of Sup comes down from 2-1-2 and Sahasupa. So this is the Adhikara Sutram. It's also a Vidhi Sutram, which means that a Sup Samarthena Subantena Samasyate. This is, what's called a Kevala Samasaha, Samanya Samasaha. It is a general kind of compound. It doesn't fall into any other specific rules given below. So that is, so when you see this statement, Sup Supeti Samasaha, now we have learned Vyakaranam, so we should recognize that this is like an irregular, miscellaneous, general compound. It is neither Tatpurusha, not Dvandva, not Avibhava, not Bahuvri compound. So this is, so you see this in the commentary. You remember this term. We'll either see Sahasupa or Sup Supa, because so Sahasupa is Sutram itself 214, and Sup Supa is combining the Sup from 212 and the Supa from 214. So because this is a Subantam, Samarthena Subantena Saha Samasyate, as a simple rule, but this is not any special category. So anything which doesn't fit in the special categories is put over here. That's what Mulinatha is saying. Vigra Vakyam is there. So Yatha Puram. Now come to Bhagavad Gita. Adrishta Puram Rishitosmi Drishtva. Bhena cha pravititam manome. Tadeva vedarshe rupa deva rupam. Prasija devash jaganniva. At the end of chapter 11, maybe like 11.48, something like that, somewhere there. Adrishta Purvam. Exactly the same issue in Gita. Well, almost exactly. Adrishta Purvam. So Purvam, Drishtam, Drishta Purvam. So that Drishta Purvam is like an adverbial compound. Here it is. Adrishta Purvam. This is also a Supa compound. So therefore in Bhagavad Gita, when you chant the Gita chapter 11:45, Arjuna says that I am very happy to have seen this form which has not been seen before. But I'm still also afraid, so please show me your other form. So it says Adrishta Purvam. So same thing here we have in this one is Ayatha Purvaha. Ayatha Purvaha. So Yatha Bhutaha Purva, Yatha Purvaha. So Yatha Purva is a Supa compound. And then once we have that, then we can make Yatha Purvo na bhavati iti Ayatha Purvaha. So this is just Nyai Tat Purusha. This is of course a combination of 226 Sutram Nyai, so 226 like a Brahmanaha, etc. We will illustrate all of those. So 226 along with Na Lopo Nayaha. Na Lopo Nayaha, which is 6373. Na Lopo Nayaha 6373. So that part is easy, but that Yatha Purvaha is a Supa compound. Okay. So he was seen. In fact, there's a detailed commentary here. So let's follow the commentary. The objective of this class is to make us comfortable with the commentary. If we can follow the commentary, then it is as good as following the original text. So the way to understand the original text is to understand commentaries. They make your life very easy and get you into the framework of how to analyze these various sentence structures, and not only sentences but also the words which are being used. So he says Yatha Purva bhavati iti yatha purvaha. Okay. Now he takes that meaning first. Why does he say that? Because simple sentence is Dhanatanujaha Drishtaha. The Drishya is a passive use. Let's go to a document over here. In the Litlakara, we have seen many examples. I think I put a document here. Okay, verse 88. The Drishya is a passive form karmani, you have seen. So because Drishya Prekshani, we just talked about that, is Parasnapadi Dhatuho, but because of the important thing here is Bhava Karmanoho. Otherwise, the steps are simple. The ir gets the Itsanya, but the Vartikam ira Itsanya Vacha, the Parokshe lit. And then usual steps, because this Vivaksha is Pratham Purusha Ekavashanam. So we get the Pratyaya Ta because of Ta Atam Ja, because we have to use only Atmane Padam. And then we get later Staji Oresh H, Anekachi sarvasya, the esh adesha, the aneka, I mean there is a shit adesha. With abhyasa karyam, liti dhatu abhyasasya, and then we do urat in the abhyasa bhaga urat, uran raparaha, haladishesha. I mean these we have seen many examples of this. So if you want to practice these sutras, go to the website and there's a lot of examples are there. And yet because of asanyoga litkit, this pratyaya is a kit pratyaya. So by kiniticha, we stop the puganta lagupatasya cha. Gunadesha is stopped. So this is a kit pratyaya because asanyogat lit kit. There is no sanyoga prior to it. This is a kit. Apit lit kit syat. It's apit lit. It becomes kit. So dadrishe is a passive form. So that was the basic sentence. The next thing he says that nihata bandhutvat. Why? So what is the meaning of ayat? Now he's explaining why it said ayatha purvaha. Why he was not same as before. It says nihata bandhutvat raksha parichara shunyaha ityarthaha. So raksha paricharaha. So raksha parichara means his retinue. Paricharaha is retinue. Is his circle of rakshasas. Raksha paricharaha. So parichara is shunyaha. He is devoid of. He does not have, right now he does not have his attendants around him. The Rakshasa attendants, he doesn't have them around him. So then, but why is that? Nihata bandhatvat. So nihataha bandhavaha yasyasa ravanaha. So his ravanaha, everybody's already been killed. So ramasya banehi nihataha sarve bandhavaha. So all his attendants and his retinue and his clan has already been destroyed. So nihata bandhu is ravanaha. Nihataha bandhava yasyasa. Nihata bandhutvam. Of course, as we know, tasya bhavastvatalav. So nihata bandhutvam. See, the good thing now is you have studied all these things in detail now. So now it is we have to spend more time discussing these basic ideas. So nihata bandhutvam. Nihata bandhutvat is panchami, like vanat, of course, nyasinya saminatsyaha. So this is a panchami ekavachanam of nihata bandhutva. So because of, that is the hetav, because that he was such that, he was of the nature, that nest, the tvam is that nest, right? So his nature was such that he was in a state, because of his state was such that his relatives and friends and his retinue and attendants had been killed. So therefore he was devoid of his retinue, his circle. So that is why it says ayatha purvaha. So not as before. Because Raksha parichara shunyaha did not have his circle of attendants around him. Ataeva, and therefore and hence ataeva ekaha api. It comes ekaha api, even though he was one. Ekaha api, even though he was one. San means being one, being such. Being san is prathama ekavachanam, pullingi of prajapadikam sat. The prajapadikam sat is derived from the dhatu as. Is shatranta prajapadikam, it's a present participle. Sat is present participle from dhatu as. So this is prathama ekavachanam. Now we already know in Bhagavad Gita, very famous shloka, Pashyan Shrinvan Sprishan Jigran Nashnan Gachan Sapan Shvasan Palapan Visujan Grunhan Unmishan Nimishan Napi. So same thing here. So all of these are Prathama Ekavachanam Pullinge Pashyan Shrinvan Sprishan Jigran Nashnan Gachan Sapan Shvasan. Similarly here also Sun. Sun is like that. Paripatikam is Sat. So being. So being only one, even though being only one. Dhanadanujaha ravanaha. Straightforward. Dhanadasya. So this we have seen in prior classes in great detail we saw in the Wednesday class. So anujaha anu paschajataha anujaha. The sutram here is 32101 is probably we can use. 32101 gives us the license to use the dhatu jan, the pratyaya da in a variety of situations. So 32101 is like an extension, because this would be difficult to fit in the prior rules 32101, because see we have this section starting from saptamyam janerdaha, then pancham, because saptamyam we don't have saptam because the upapadam is anu, is an avyayam over anu paschat jataha. Don't forget one thing is that we are in the adhikara of bhute. Bhute. So you say jataha, should not say jayate. You should say jataha. It says that. So saptamyam janitaha will not fit here very well. Panchamyam jatava. So we don't have upasarge sanyayam. We don't have a sanya. So we could maybe use that maybe. Upasarga sanyayam. So if the upasarga is there and sanya is there, we could use that. Anau karmani we cannot use because karmani is there, so we don't have that. And then anyeshu pidrishyate, that one we can always use as an extension. So it is, so we can do that. So even though 3 to 100 mentions anu, there's one more condition is karmani. That one we could not use because of that. So let's look at 3 to 100 anau karmani. We can look at that. We can try that. I don't think that is going to work. It says anupurva janehe. Anupurva janehe karmani upapade. See, we cannot see. So pumanujaha means he's pumanujaha is that he's younger brother. So he has an older brother. Pumanujaha, stinujaha. So he's younger, and his elder is a sister, or elder is a female or a male. So that we cannot so pumamsa manujataha. So we cannot use that. So anyway, so 3299, 32101, one of these we can use. We can always 3221. To 101 always to anyeshu drishyate. This is an extension rule. So we can, so in fact anujaha is given anujataha anujaha. So here it is. Kashika gives anujaha. So anyway, steps we have done this. This is all a copy paste, by the way. This is all just a copy paste from the Wednesday class. So anu is an avyayam. So Anuji in the class today, which is good. We have Anuji in the class. So anu is an avyayam, which is avyadap supaha, and then first thing we have to always start any compound formation with a sutram for 2-1 or 2-2. This case is upapadam thing, and then we can use this one anyeshvapi drishyate. Then means that anyeshvapi upapadeshu means in with variety of upapadas jan takes a pratyaya da. And then once we have that, we can do anubandha lopaha chutu akaraha. And then because even though the angam does not have bhasanya, because bhasanya only comes when swadishva sarvanavasthane. This is a dhatu. This is not a swadi pratyaya. Swadi only starts from 412. But because of the nyapakam, that abhasyapi ter lopaha. So anubandha karana dit karana samarthya abhasyapi ter lopaha. Riti abhasyapi Anubandha karana ka samarthya ti lopaha. We just saw this in our daily examples. When we did the lut lakara, when we had the pratham purusha ekvachana pratyaya da came in there, like bhavita, etc. That time we use this nyapakam, that the fact that dakar is an it allows us to use make ti lopaha. Even though angam doesn't have bhasanya, we get anu. So achavantya the ti, the anbhaga is the ti. So anuja anujaha. Then simply dhanadasya anujaha, dhanadanujaha. Shashti samasa. He is a younger brother of Kuberaha. He says, so no commentary, straightforward, Ravanaha. Now comes this compound, Bhuja Murdhoru Bahulyat. So first part is Bhuja Murdhoru. So Bhujaha is of course arms, hands. Murdhan. In fact, today is really a Gita day, I guess, because we have a lot of words on the Gita. Murdhanyadhayat panasparanam asthito yogadharanam. Omityeka aksharam brahma vyaharan vamanusmaran yatpriyatidhan deham sajati paramagatam. Nanyacheta sadatam yomasprati nityashaha. Tasyam sulavav partha nityvitsa yoginaha. Maupeti punarjanmud kalema shashvatam. Napnuvanti mahas murdhani. Murdhnyadhaya. Murdhni. Adhaya. So this murdhan pradipadikam. Murdhan becomes murdhni. This is a like Rajan type word, which is a pulling it from the has. So we come murdhan, and then uru. But there is these 2 or 3 words which should not confuse this. One is uru. Uru like Uru Vikramaha Vishnu, one with wide strides. Uru Vikramaha. So that one is Uru is an adjective. Uru. So Rasu Karaha on both sides. Uru. Then Uru is a thigh. Of course, Uru is 2 thighs. And Uras is chest. Uras. So these are sometimes confusing. So one more time. Uru. Uru. is an adjective meaning wide or large. And then uru means the thigh, and then uru is two thighs, and uras is a pratipadikam, which means the chest. So here we have uru. Uru. So of course there is a guna sandhi here, ad gunaha, murdhoru. What kind of samasa is this? He gives a vigravakyam. Bhujascha murdhanashchoravaha. Bhujaha cha murdhanaha cha uravaha. In fact, Bahubahurupadam comes in Bhagavad Gita. Today is really Gita day. It comes in chapter 11 of Gita. So Uravaha, then Padascha. So Uravaha he comments as Padascha, because Uru is thigh, he means legs, basically legs. Bhuja Murdhoru. Now this is a Samahara Dvandvaha. Samaharaha. He said, he makes a comment here. Pranyangatvat dvandvaikavad bhavaha. Dvandvaikavad means a group together. Samahara. So a dvandvaikavad bhavaha. This is something which you are studying in the Wednesday classes. This gives us a chance to practice all our rules now. If you recall, we did the Dvandva Samasaha. At that time we studied this. In fact, I put it in the today's class itself. I put that. We studied this sutram, Dvandvascha prani turya senanganam. So anganam. So pranyanganam, turyanganam, and then turyanganam, and then senanganam. So that time we have studied this sutram. What it means that when you have parts of a living being or of a band, music band, or an army, then what happens? Pranyangadinam samahara eva. Remember one thing, this entire thing about Dvandva Samasa and this Samahara Dvandva, Itaretra Dvandva is that the sutram, this sutram which is 2-2, first of all, any Samasa Vidaka Sutram, we have to go to 2-1-2-2, and then 2-2-29 says Charte Dvandva. So by this sutram itself, we can form the Samahara, or we can form the Itaretara Yoga. Okay? Then why do we need this 2-4-2? There is one Niyamartha. So this Prakaran Niyamartham Prakaran. That's the most important thing over here. The most important thing is that from 2-2, the Sutram 2-2-29 already gives us the authority to form a Dvandvaha. Samahararthe atva itaretara yoga. Now then that means that these sutras from 2-4-1, I should say, Dvandvascha starts from here, all the way it goes down. So from here up to 2-4-16. So these 15 rules, they are niyamartham. They're doing some kind of niyama they're doing. And this particular one which we need right now, which is the very first one, and which says ekavachanam. So it's ekavad. So what, see this ekavachanam and dvandvascha is exactly what Mullinatha has commented. He says dvandvaikavad bhavaha. Dvandvaikavad. See, he uses the exact terms which are used in the Ashtadhyayi or in the in the Kashika or Mahabhashyam. So he gets that from the fact that here we have ekvachanam and dvandvaha. So prani turya senanganam, and the commentary is that so when we have such a collection of parts of a of a human being, of a living, I should say living being, or a band, or a musical troupe, or if you have a army, in that case only samahara can be made. So that's the niyama. Important thing is that one more time is 2-2-29 allows us to make dvandva in both senses. So therefore this entire prakaranam from 2-4-2 to 2-4-16 should be taken in light of that. Means some kind of niyama is being done. Niyamarthamudam prakaranam iti sadasmartavyam. That's the most important thing. And then you can investigate what kind of niyama it is. Of course you can look at the Vyakhyanam also. So what's happening here is that it says here is pranyangadinam samahara eva. This eva is the key over here. Samaharaha eva. Because without that, that is why we are having this whole thing. Only samahara can be formed. Of course, once you do that, is nothing special. So bhuja plus jas plus murdan plus jas plus uru plus jas, and then Still you have to use Chartya Dvandva only, 279, because remember, finally, any samasa has to be authorized by Sutram in 2.1 or 2.2. So we have to use Chartya Dvandva with the niyamaha of 2.4.2, that this has to be only Ekavat Samahararthe. It cannot be Itara Yoge. Okay, so we have to use 2.229 along with the niyama of 2.4.2. So 2.229 has to be used with 2.4.2, and then we do the the supluk. We get bhuja, murdhan plus uru. I mean, I haven't put all the detailed steps. It's kind of straightforward. And of course, murdhan gets the padasanya because of pratyay lope pratyay lakshanam supting antam padam. You must have heard this 1,000 times now. Pratyay lope pratyay lakshanam supting antam padam, because we had murdhan plus jas, and then we removed the sup because of supodhatu prajmadikayoho, and then we got, but still murdhan has a padasanya, so then we use 827 no lopaha pradipadikaantasya. Now then, but that should be a siddham karyam. Then how can we do guna adesha? Because we just talked about the situation here where we had matrivamshe, we become matrivamshai, become matrivamsha, with lopa shakalya is asiddha, yakar lopa asiddha. Then how come the same thing doesn't apply here? How come the same thing doesn't apply here? Because we have murdhan, so we did nakar lopa by 827, no lopa prajapadikantasya. Then how can we do the guna adesha after that? That also the answer you know. Sutram we have used extensively in daily examples. If you want to practice that, you can go to the website and practice the sutram. It is 822. It limits, again niyama sutram. Again niyama sutram is that no lopaha is asiddha only in this situation. Sup, swara, sanya, and tuk vidishukriti. So it has to be a sup vidhi, swara vidhi. Swara is only in Vedas anyway. Sanya vidhi, like a naming, or tuk agamaha with the krut pratyaya. Right now we don't have, we have only a sandhi karyam. It's not a sup vidhi, not a swara vidhi, not a sanya vidhi, not a tuk agamaha. So therefore the nalopa becomes siddha, and then we can do adgunaha. So I'll put that in document. These are all see today in today's class is nothing really new. We're just practicing now, because everything, all we are saying in today's class has already been covered. I mean, almost everything we have covered. So it's just practice only. Everything, this has all been discussed in prior classes. So what I can do here is maybe I can put, okay, I can put over here 822. You have to use 822. 822 has to be used over here. Okay. Now, as I said to you, if you want to practice the sutram, we have seen many examples in our daily examples where 822 has been used. 822 has been used. You can look over on the website. See, it says here you can take this one for example. You can look at this one. It says whereas question number 3. So here it has in this shloka somewhere it has been used. See, atma eva, atman plus eva. Again, atman, we get atma. We have there applied the nalopa prajapadikantasya, but even after that we can do the, in this case, vruddhirechi, because of that sutram. So if you can look at the details here, is that it gives all the details over here. So when we do, anyway, what we just discussed. So this has been given in many examples. You can practice all of this over here. So the good news is now in today's class, so now we are coming to the kind of, I shouldn't say end of Vyakaranam. We got the basic ideas now. So you definitely have enough to explore on your own, learn on your own, and add some further details. So, okay, let's go on. So here what we have now is we have bhujascha murdhanashchoravaha pada. Means don't get confused. One thing you have to also realize, I hope by this time you have some practice with the style of the commentaries. It says bhujascha murdhanashcha uravaha, because there's no cha in here. You see that there are only 3 chas, because bhujaha cha, murdhanaha cha, and uravaha, then he makes a commentary in between. So you have to understand that. So you have to understand that within the vigraha vakyam of a compound, this is a very important point. Within the vigraha vakyam of a compound, there might be a vyakhyanam, vritti. So there will be a commentary. So don't get confused with that, please. That can be confusing. you're expecting a clean Vigraha Vakyam. Inside there is a commentary. So what do we have? The Uravaha has a commentary Padaha. So what we have really is Bhujaha cha, Murdhanaha cha, then Uravaha equals Padaha cha. This is a very important concept, is that when you read this Bhashyam and Tika and commentaries, which is the objective of this class, within the Vigraha Vakyam, they will not again, like they'll say, they will not give like, Uravaha equals Padaha and then again give the Vigraha Vakyam. They'll combine the two. That can be confusing. Okay. So the Vigraha Vakyam is only this much. Bhujascha, Murdhanascha, Uravascha. That Urava has a commentary on that Padaha. So remember that. Okay. Then he says Pranyang. See, now the thing is we can understand what he's saying. See, if you don't know Vyakaranam, what does this mean? Pranyangatvad. You cannot, you can see Pranyangatvad. What is Dvandvaika Vat Bhavaha? So unless you know Vyakaranam, it's hard to even understand what this commentary is saying. So then you get disappointed and you keep the commentary aside, and that's a big mistake. The Vyakaranam gives you the entrance into all these commentaries, and the commentary gives the entrance into the Mula Patha. So you understand that. From Vyakaranam you get the entrance to the commentary, and that's the doorway, that's the dwar, that's the dwaha, a dwaram for the Mula Patha Pravesha. That is good. So that's we learn Vyakaranam. Anyway, tasya bahulya means tasya is talking about this. This is a typo here. This is a typo. Okay, should be bhuja. So because of now tasya bahulya, because the bahulyam of all of these, this compound which you just formed, and then says what is bahulyat bahulatvad hetoho. So instead of bahulya makes bahulatva. So of course by now we know all of this. We just again something. This is a topic which we just discussed in detail, isn't it? So this is something which we can quickly go to Brahmana Adiganaha, because we have used it so many times now. Because this adhikar of tasya bhavastatalav. So first of all, the fact that he is giving the commentary as bahulatvat, which means that he is substituting bahulya with bahulatva. The bahula itself is a upapada samasa. Bahun lati iti bahulaha, which brings many, which contains many. So that is a upapada samasa. So bahun lati iti. In fact, that bahula is a compound like dhanada. Dhanam dadati dhanadaha. So those are all, again, we have done in great detail in the Wednesday class. We are going to practice aton upasarge kaha. I thought I might have it here. Let me see. Do I have it here in today's class? Okay, I didn't put it. In the Wednesday class, we've done in great detail this aton upasarge kaha. You can just practice that. So the Sutram 323. Aton upasarge kaha. Like jaladaha. Jaladaha. Same. You can see jalam dadati di jaladaha. So same, all the same steps as we did on this all. See. The good news of making these documents is, as I said, it takes time, but now we have all these notes. We can just copy, paste them everywhere. So same thing, dhanam dadati dhanadaha, and bahun lati iti bahula. Bahula is an adjective which just brings many, which kind of has many. So bahula is basically, it means many only, but it is formed from the dhatu la. So bahun lati iti bahula. So it's an adjective bahula. So bahulyam. So that we have just discussed, isn't it? Because we just looked at this adhikar with many examples for the last few weeks, and there we have the adhikar of tasya bhavastvatalav. In fact, as I said, you got the hint right here because Malinatha gives bahulatva as a paryaya shabda. That means you know right away that we are dealing with the adhikar of tasya bhavastvatalav. And that adhikara is running from here. It's not that many rules, it's a short adhikara. So lagvadhikara is alpa akara adhikara. From tasya bhavastvatalav, it only goes for 18 rules, 17, 18 rules. And then of course we have studied the sutram, which is gunavachana brahmanadibhya karmanicha, and brahmanadi is akritikanaha, and then the pratyashay is being used. So you can check the dridadikanaha if bahula is there. And if it's not there, we can always go to Brahmanadi Ganaha. You say Akriti Ganaha. If you want, we can check quickly. If Bahula is there. It may not be there. So if Difference between the Dridhadikana and Brahmanadikana is that, as we have discussed, Brahmanadikana is Karmani also. So let us just check the Dridhadikana. Dridha, Vridha, Parivridha, Brisha, Krisha, Amra, Kashtala, Amra, Shita, Badira, Punda, Murka, Sthira. So, okay, so then we have to go to the Brahmanadikana, which is fine. So that Bahulasya Bhavaha is Bahulyam. So, okay, so that is the Brahmanadi Karmani. Anuvritti of Shain is coming down. So this Sutram. So now you see how quickly we can do these forms now. So this one is 51124. He says, so because of the manyness, because of, and he says, Hetoho, Bahulatvad Hetoho. The Panchami has been used in what sense? So he clarifies. This Panchami is Heto. Just like we have studied the Adhikar of 2.1 and 2.2, similarly in 2.3, any Vibhakti Vidhanam has to be approved by Sutram in 2.3 of the Ashtadhyayi. And there, Panini has a Sutram where Panini says Hetau. But that Hetau is still for Tritya Vibhakti, it authorizes. But then he says, Kartaryarane Panchami. Sorry, Akartaryarane Panchami. And Vibhasha Gunestayam. If you want to do some homework, look at the Sutram 2.3.25. Basically, it says that Vibhasha Panchami can also be used. There are some conditions here, but we can ignore those for time being. So basically, Vibhasha Panchamyapi. Simply speaking, Vibhasha Panchamyapi Prayujyate Hetau. Sense of Hetau. So again, see, when he says Hetau, we understand what he's talking about. He's talking about this Sutram Hetau, which is Anuvritti is coming down into 2.3.25 Vibhasha Ganestrayam. So that's what, so 2.3.25. So on account of the manyness of these, manyness of his hands, his heads, and his thighs, his legs, and then tad bahutve yadavaha. In this context of the manyness of these limbs, so tesham bahutve, there is a Yadava Shabda Kosha, is a lexicon, and he clarifies how many he has. Dashasyaha. So Dashasyaha is the Dasha Asyani Yasya Saha. So one he's 10-faced. Vimshati Bhujaha. So Vimshati Bhujaha Yasya Saha. So this is Ravanaha. This is a description of how many he has. So he's 10-faced. He's 20 hands, 20-handed. Chatushpat. So Chatvaraha Padaha Yasya Saha. Matru Mandire iti. So in his mother's side. So when his mother's place means Rakshasa Grahe. So it's Rakshasanam Grahe. So there he has 10 faces, he has 20 arms, and he has 4 legs, is what it is said. And well, the Chatushpad also we have done. See, the good thing is that it really is very nice, because see, this also we have done. Chatushpad, where it is? Yes, you see same thing we have. So Chatushpad also we have done. Remember, we just looked at this, the Bahuvari compounds, and we look at the Samasanta Prakaranam. And for Bahuvari, the Samasanta Prakaranam is quite extensive. In fact, just in yesterday's class, we just concluded this section up to 5.4. In yesterday's class, we just finished the Sutram in yesterday's class, Gireshcha Senakasya. And then that ended this small, this Shat Sutri for the Samasanta in the Avyabhava Samasa. And then after that starts Bahuvriho. And in that Sutram which we have studied, Sutram is that Sankhya Supurvasya, Sankhya Supadasya Lopaha. This Pada takes Lopaha in a Bahuvri compound. For Lopa means Alontyasya, okay? Alontyasya. When what? In a Bahuvri compound preceded by Sankhya or Su Purvasya. So right now what do we have in the class? So Padasya Lopasyat. Samasanto, that Lopa is a Samasanta Pratyaya. Lopa is also Pratyaya. In fact, look at this. That Lopaha is really an Adesha, isn't it? Lopa is an Adesha. But it comes in the Samasanta Prakranam. So this is an Adesha, which is Samasanta Adesha. Bahuvrihau. So it says So dvipa. So dvau padau yasya sa dvipa. This is just a copy paste from Wednesday class. We went through. Right now we have chatushpad. So we'll make chatur plus so chatvaraha padaha yasya saha. Chatur plus jas plus pada plus jas. Follow all these steps as usual. Supluk, and then we'll get the lopaha. Samasanta lopaha, and then we get chatushpad, in this case dvipad. In the case of, so then we just decline it and we do halnyabhyo dirgha sutisya pruktam hal, and then we get vavasane, amjalam yoshvante vavasane. Chatushpad, only thing is that this murdhanya shakara deshaha is also we have studied, which is idudupadasya cha pratyasya. Idudupadasya cha pratyasya. This is 8341. 8341. So when you have a visargaha, which is preceded by rasva ikara, rasva ukaraha, and which is followed by a letter of the kavarga or pavarga, which is a kar, because the visarga only comes by karavasana yor visarjaniya. So it is followed by a kavarga, pavarga letter, but it has to be a kar, otherwise visarga will not be there. So basically ka, ka, pa, pa. Then that visarga, instead of going the usual kupoha kakpaucha, it becomes a murdhanya shakaraha. And now we have studied this sutram. So this is all a practice class, All these classes are practice classes. So we can keep on practicing what we have. That's the good news. Good news that there are not that many really new things to learn. This is, well, for the most part. So 8341, this is idupadasya cha pratyasya. And then Kashika does the parigadanam with nir, dur, bahir, avis, chatur and pradus. These are 6 terms. Nir, dur, bahir, avis, chatus and pradus. Actually it is nir, dur, bahis is the pratipadikam, avis, chatur and pradus. So these are the 6 terms which are subject to this rule. So here we get, so you can example in chatushkritam. So chatushpada will be like this, chatushkapalam and so on. So that's how we get chatushpa. So this clarifies that how Ravana is in his Matra Mandirya, his mother's side, because his Mata was a Rakshasi, his father was a Brahmana, his Mata was a Rakshasi. So Matrivamshe, Matra Sambandhini Varge, Chitaha Iva Dadrishe. Look at Dadrishe, he says, look at the commentary about it. Dadrishe Drishtaha. So he has used the Pratyaya, Nishtha Pratyahakta. And we know from 3470, which is Tayoreva Krityakta Kalarthaha. Tayoreva Krityakta Kalarthaha. So Kta is used in this text, Kta Pratyaha is used in the passive. So that's from the, even if you don't pick up Tadrishe being passive with the Apanipadam which you taught in the class today, you can still look at the commentary. Look at the commentary, it says Drishta. That's a passive usage. So just from the commentary, you can pick up the fact from the commentary. See, that's why the commentaries are so good. He says you said karmani Lord, karmani is karmani lit. You just say drishta. So that gives you a big hint. This is a passive usage. So even if you miss the Atmanipadam, from the commentary you can pick out that it is. So he says Vanshe's Matu Sambandhini Varge. So Vanshe is taken as Vargaha. The Vargaha. Matra Sambandhini means he has a connection with his mother's side. So from the people of his mother's side, what he says. Now he also justifies that. What he says is that Vansho Venau Kule Vargeti Vishvaha. See, Vishvakosha says Vansha is used in Venau, in like a Venu, like a flute. So Vanshaha, or like a bamboo. So that is the Vanshaha. And then Venau Kule, family, and Varge like a group of people. Iti Vishwaha. He says Atra Ravana Matuhu. Look at the Sandhi here, by the way. Ravana Matuhu. So this is, we got the Rori going on over here. Sandhi Rori 8314 and Dralope Purvasa Dirghonaha. Raksho Jatitvat. Again you say Jatitvat. So Rakshasam Jati Raksho Jati. Raksho Jate He Bhavaha Raksho Jatitvam. It's a very, very famous, this is a very, very common combination. Use a pratyaya tva, and then use panchami because of thatness, because of somethingness. So it is raksho jatitvat, because she had the property of being of the raksho jati, of demon class. So raksho jatitvat tadvargaha raksho varga iti labhyate. So what he says is that, so matru varge was, so he says matru vamshe, he made matru varge. So matru varge. Varge means, he says raksho varge, because his mother was a rakshasi. So matru varge means raksho varge. Because what does it mean on the mother's side means what? Means basically he was surrounded by rakshasas. So what he says is that ataha cha ekaha api aneka raksha parivrataha iva alakshyata ityartaha. Alakshyata again is a passive usage. Alakshyata is lang lakaraha pratham purusha ekvachanam. So dadrishya means alakshyata. He was seen. He was spotted. So he was viewed as being parivrataha, surrounded. Aneka raksha parivrataha. So anekaihi rakshobhe parivrataha iva alakshata. So even though he was one, he looked like he was surrounded by many rakshasas on account of the bahulyat, or the manyness of his head, I mean his hands, head, etc. So that's the meaning of it. This is a bit of a complicated shloka. So we took some more time on this shloka. So, but we got, see, good thing is that we're understanding exactly what Mulinatha is saying. So that is the most, and if you don't understand everything, it's okay. But we are able to understand what Mulinatha is saying using the Vyakaranam that we have learned. So that is the purpose of this class. So the meaning becomes that Ravanaha was seen. Dhanadanujaha, Ravanaha was seen. Even though one, so even though he was not like he was before, he was seen as if he was in the people of his mother's side, which means that he was seen as if he was surrounded by Rakshasas. Why? Because of the bahulyat, because of the manyness of all of these limbs that he had. So, okay, let's go to translation now. Again, thanks to Nagaraj being here.
Yes, namaskar ji.
Namaskar, namaskar. Okay, let me just start this. Yatha Yogya. Okay. The younger brother of the Lord of Wealth. Why don't you take that?
Dhanadanujaha.
Dhanadanujaha. Dhanadanujaha means dhanam dadati dhanadaha tasya anujaha. Do, what is do?
Api.
Api. Alone?
Ekaha.
Ekaha. Not being surrounded by attendants as before. I think he's taking the Ayatha Purvaha.
Ayatha Purvaha.
He's taking with the commentary, because the commentary says that Ayatha Purva has been commented as Raksha Parichara Shunya. So really the translation is translating this part really.
Yeah.
So he was not as before, means he was not surrounded. So even not being surrounded is Parichara Shunya. By the attendants is Raksha Parichara Shunya. So not being surrounded is Shunya. Attendance is Raksha Parichara. As before is Purvam. So Yatha Purva. That's what it is. Appeared is
Dadrishe.
Dadrishe is passive. On account of, what is that? That's the Panchami Hetoho. See Hetoho.
Bahulyat.
So Bahulyat, that ending, Panchami ending, that is on account of. His many, that is the Bahulyat. So Bahulyat, literally the manyness. Now arms, heads and thighs is Bhujamurdhoru Bahu. Bhujamurdhoru. So Bhujashcha Murdhanascha Uravascha. So arms, thighs, heads and thighs. As if
Iva.
Well, we missed this word sthitaha. I'm sorry, we missed sthitaha. Sthitaha we have done before the word sthitaha. as if standing. Now this sthitaha, a couple of things on sthitaha is that it's an active usage because akarmaka dhatuhu, so it used 3, 4, 72, which I've looked at many times. Gatyartha akarmaka, so akarmaka dhatu we'll use in the active usage. Sthita means as if standing, and the stha becomes sthita because of the sutram, like the amitabha, right? Amita. So 7.4.40. It is the sutram dyati syati mastham ittikiti. So tado kiti ikara desha 7.4.40. So standing is tataha. In the midst is a saptami, I think, matruvamshe. Of his kinsman by mother's side.
Matruvamshe.
Yes, thank you. So this was a complicated shloka. We had some different things going on here. And okay, let's take the next one. Ekon navati tamashlokaha. This one is much more simple. Jetaram lokapalanam samukhairachiteshwaram samukhairachiteshwaram Ramastulita Kailasam Maratim Bhavamanyata. So Jetaram Lokapalanam Samukhairachiteshwaram Ramastulita Kailasam Maratim Bhavamanyata. So Padacheda is Jetaram Lokapalanam Samukhaihi Architeshwaram Ramaha Tulita Kailasam Aratim Bahu Amanyata. Now we can quickly hone into the Tingantam Padam, which is your strategy. That is the pranaha, also Vakyasya pranaha, the Tingantam Padam. And Amanyata, a very straightforward form. Lang Lakaraha. Pratyashyan has been used, Divadibhyashyan. So this, I think we have done many examples. And if you can go on the website and practice Lang Lakaraha. So you got the Ad Agamaha by Lang Lang Rang Shvardataha. And we got the Divadibhyashyan Pratyaha coming in there. And it's very straightforward. It's Atmanipadi Dhatuhu. So Pratyata has comes. Amanyata means regarded. And Ramaha Amanyata. Ramaha regarded. That regarded is called there's a Kriya Visheshanam here. Bahu. If you look at the commentary at the end, Bhavviti, so Bahu iti Kriya Visheshanam. In fact, again, this is a nice connection with yesterday's class. Yesterday's class, we just looked at this sutram. In fact, last few classes, we've been looking at this sutram 2.4.18, which is Avibhavascha. Avibhava Samasaha. This Napusakalingam. Under that Sutram 2.4.18, there's a Vartikam. In fact, in yesterday's class, we looked at the Ramayanam, right? We looked at the Ramayanam. Mandam Bachanam Abrvit. So Sita spoke gently. So that's again, so we had talked about in yesterday's class itself that the Vartikam on 2.4.18 says Kriya Visheshananam Klibata Ishyate, and Karmattam cha. So this neuter, accusative singular, Vitya Ekvachanam, they can function as adverbs. We should be very careful about this, because see, Bahu is of course means high. Bahu means many also. Bahu means also in high. So so Bahu Manyata means he regarded many, not many, must regarded highly. So that Bahu is not qualifying anything. So it's not a Visheshanam. That is the trick over here. If you see a Napumsakalinge Ditya Ekvachanam, and it is not fitting as a Visheshanam, then think of Kriya Visheshanam. It could be an adverb, okay? So in fact here he clarifies it, Bahuviti Kriya Visheshanam. So Ramaha regarded highly. Regarded whom highly? Aratim. Dhatu this Ra. The Ra also is saying Radane, so means to give. So Rati is one who gives. Arati is who doesn't give anything. This is an enemy. So Narati, so Arati. This is also Nyaitat Purushaha. So it is same sutram 226. Nyai followed by Nalopo Nayaha. So Aratihi is a Shatruhu. arihi. So this is dhatu ra. Ra. In fact, we just saw these two dhatus. We saw the dhatu ra, ra in arati. It should be dhatu ra over here. Yeah, ra dane. See, ra dane is there, 252. And I think we just also saw dhatu la also. We just saw in bahula. Dhatu la. La dane, adane dane. Dhatu la. So these are both, in fact, nice connection here, seeing both of these in today's class. So basically, aratim nishatrum. He says shatrum. And if you don't, and again, one more thing as I told you. If you don't know the word arati, it doesn't matter. Look at the commentary. If it's not, if it's a difficult word, generally the commentator will be nice to you and give paryaya shabdaha. If he doesn't give paryaya shabdaha, means it's an easy word. You understand? So you can go to Aptya dictionary or anywhere and pick it out. So that is why this commentary is so useful. Any difficult word, difficult means is not samanyana prayukta. It's not used that frequently. Then you will generally find the explanation in the commentary. If you don't find one, then that means it is something you should understand on your own. In fact, this is also, as I said in prior classes, that you can take this strategy. Is as in the beginning, only look at those words where there is no commentary. That means that those are the words we should know on our own. Spashtam. So here, if you don't know the word arati, leave it for a time being. Just take the word shatru. And then the trick is that as you experience this word many times, then you know arati shatru. For the time being, you can just take shatru. So aratim shatrum. So far what you have Ramaha Shatrum Bahu Amanyata. So Sri Ramaha regarded his enemy highly. Now why is that? Because his enemy, of course Ravanam in this case, has many adjectives. First is Lokapalanam Jetaram. So Jetaram is like, Hantaram in Gita, right? Yaenam veti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhauto na vijanito nayam hantina hanyate. Always keep the Bhagavad Gita at your mind. It will be a very good mate eva Bhagavad Gita vartate. It will be like your mother. It will give you a lot of good things. So hantaram comes in. So declension is the same as the word hantaram in Gita. Hantaram. So Hantru Pratipadikam, Jetru Pratipadikam. So Jetru is a winner. So again we have seen a daily example, this Dhatu G. It comes in two varieties. One is in the sense of being victorious and one is Abhibhave, in conquering. So Abhibhave. So there's this Dhatu G comes in two varieties. One is a Akarmaka and one is Sakarmaka. And there we have in Dhatu Patha here, if you look at Dhatu Patha, the Dhatu G will be G Jaye, this is the Akarmaka, and G Abhibhave. Abhibhave means to overpower, to defeat. So here we have Abhibhave. Because why? Because you see there's a karma here which is the Lokapalanam Jetaram in this case, sorry. It will be Jeta, Jetaro, Jetaraha, Jetaram and so on. So Lokapalanam Jetaram. So Sri Ramaha regarded his enemy Ravana highly. He regarded him, he kept him in good regard because he didn't take him lightly. Because he had conquered Lokan Palayatiti Lokapalaha. This is also, if you take Upapada Samasaha. So Lokapalanam Jetaram. And he has two more qualifications he has. Is Architeshwaram. Architaha Ishvaraha Yena Saha. So he had worshipped Lord Shiva. Architeshwaram. So Architaha, and the one of the hallmarks of Bahubari Samasaha is the Sutram Nishtha. Nishthantam Padam. Puram Prayujyate. So Nishtha is Purnipataha. Sutram Nishtha. So we say Archita is the Nishthant, means worshipped, and that is the Purapadam. So of course, it doesn't have to be Bahubari compound, Karmadhari also. But if you have Purapadam and Nishthantam Padam, then keep in mind this, because this is a very common construct, like Sitprajnasya Bhasha, Vigataspruha, and all these places. So in Gita, many places in Gita. So here, this Sutram Nishtha is Nishthantam. Of course, Saptami Visheshana Bahuvriya itself will give you that. And further Nishtha is that. So this Nishthantam, again, the Sutram Nishtha comes in Ashtadhyayi in two places. 3.2.102 and 2.2.36. Completely different context. So we have Nishthantam Padam as a Pura Padam. Always be on the guard. This may be Bahuvri compound. So very simple Bahuvri compound. Architaha Ishvaraha Yena Saha. So one who has worshipped Lord Shiva. And then by what? Swamukhaihi. Swamukhaihi Swashirobhihi, his commentary says that. So with his, by offering his own heads, he had worshipped Lord Shiva. So that's the second qualification that he has. So not only has he conquered the guardians of the worlds, so Indradinam Jetaram, but he has also worshipped Lord Shiva with his own heads. So he has performed, intense devotion to Lord Shiva. And not only that, Tulita Kailasam, Tulitaha Kailasaha, Rudradrihi, Yena Saha. So he had balanced, or balance means he weighed Kailasaha. Weighed means he lifted up Kailasaha. So he says, Tulita Kailasaha, the same is Tulitaha Kailasaha Yena Saha. I mean, they're very simple compounds. All this is by 2.2.24. Aneka Vanya Padarthe. Again, look at the same thing, Tulita. Nishthantam Padam as a Pura Padam. Thalus Tul. Tul is to weigh. So Tulita Kailasa is, he gives Samukshipta. Sorry. Utkshipta. Means Utkship is to lift up. Lifted. So one who had lifted Rudradrim, Rudrasyadrihi Kailasaha. So is one who had lifted Kailasaha. So he had all these things. So he had these three things that he has. Lokapalanam, Indradinam, Jetaram. The question is that Lokapalanam is a Shashti Bhakti. How do we get Shashti here? Because it says Lokapalanam, Indradinam, Jetaram. Then should we not use the Dvitya by Karmani Dvitya? Because Karmani Dvitya it says, right? So that is the general rule. So it says very simple rule is that with the karma, in the sense of karma, Dvitya should be used to express the object. So he had conquered the guardians of the worlds. Then why not Dvitya? And he gives the reason. Karta karmanoho kriti. In fact, if you look at Mulinatha, he has repeated this sutra many times because he knows that this is not a sutra which people normally know. So yes, two karmani dvitiya, but then when we say that, karta karmanoho kriti, so if the karta or karma with a krit pratyaha, the karta karma krit pratyaha. So then in that case, it becomes example which we gives is that it says Krishnasya kritihi, the act of Krishna. Krishnasya kritihi is the karta of that. Krishnasya kritihi. Or then Jagatah Karta. The other side Jagatah Karta. Remember this example. Krishnasya Kritihi Jagatah Karta. So Jagatah Karta, he's the maker of the world. So Jagat is the karma. Doesn't take Dvitya, take Shashti, Jagatah Karta. Because that Karta is of course same thing as here. Jetaram Lokapalanam. That pratyaya at the end, the trun as you take, the trish pratyaya, that will be because that pratyaya is nul trichau. I think it will be nul trichau. Trish pratyaya. It's a krit pratyaya because of what? Krit adhikara starts from 3193. Krud ating starts from 3193. So in connection with the karta or the karma of Krudantam will take Shashti. It says Karmani Shashti. So it's important rule 2365. And then of course we know that 2365 is a very important Nishaya Sutram is 2369. So which you have seen in the previous classes is Na Lokamya Nishtha Kalartatranam. Na Lokamya Nishtha Kalartatranam. For example, Annam Bhoktum Agachati. Now, Annam Bhoktum is a Tumun also is a Krit Pratyaya. Then how can we say Annam Bhoktum? Should be Annasya Bhoktum then. which says na, la, u, uka, avyaya. So if that Kridantam is an avyayam, then we don't use Shashti. Go back to the Karmi Dvitiya. For example, it says, Mandiram Drashtum, it says, Mandiram Drashtva, Rishitavasmi. So, I'm very happy having seen the temple, I'm happy. So, Mandiram Drashtva. Now, how we say Mandiram? Mandirasya Drashtva then. Same thing there. Drashtva is an avyayam. So, basically, we cannot, if you want to do some homework, definitely look at these two rules, 2365 and 2369. So, before applying 2365, always check 2369. In our case, nothing is it. The pratyatran is mentioned here, by the way. Tran. The pratyatran is used. We have to use dvitiya again. But we use the pratyatruch. In fact, that's one difference between truch and tran is that if tran is used, the form will be the same. The same form. It will be lokapalan jetaram. Pratyatran is used. Pratyatruch is used, and we go to Shashti. So that is. So if you take some homework, take 2365, 2369 for homework. At least we can understand what Malinatha is saying. Clearly, we can understand what he's saying.
Satish.
Yes.
Yeah. Brahma Jignasa as a word. Is
Brahma
that
Jignasa.
Is that Karta Karma?
Jignasa, right? Jignasa. So Jignasa, the pratyaya is being used over there. I think it should be, because Jignasa is formed by this sutram apratyayat. Because Jignasa is a dhatu, sananta dhatu. Is Nyatum Icha Jignasa. So what has happened there is that's a it's a feminine noun which is formed by the sutram apratyaya. If you pratyayanta dhatu, then you add the akara to create a feminine noun. Of course, then after that you make it ajadyata, stop. So we get jidnyasa. So yes, it's a krit pratyaya. So yes, I think it should work. So instead of saying Brahma as dvitiya ekvachanam, say Brahmana jidnyasa, Brahma jidnyasa. The only way it can be stopped is that if it is the so Brahma Jnatum Ichha is Brahmano Jidnyasa. Now, as I said, the only thing you have to check this sutram only, which is 2369. And 2369 only can stop that Shashti. It says Na, La, U, Uka. We don't have Lakara here, we don't have U, we don't have Uka. And then Avyaya, we don't have that. So if you look at the counter examples given here in the 2369, so before applying 2365, I'll check 2369, and 2369 it has the pratyaya u mentioned there, but not this pratyaya. She says that u. So we see katam chikir shuho. So now if you instead of jidnyasa, so jidnyasuhu. Okay. This is a very good example that we have here now. Then we have to make Brahma Jidnyasaho, not Brahmano Jidnyasaho. You understand that? Because the pratyaya u is being used, Chikir Shaho. So pratyaya u is used, then we cannot use Shashti. Like he says, Odanam Bhubukshuho, one who wants to eat rice. Okay? But then if you use that, we will become Odanasya Bhubuksha. But Odanam Bhubukshuho, because the pratyaya u is mentioned by Panini that we don't use the Shashti. So it's La, U, Uka, Avyaya, Nishtha, Kalartha, in the meaning of Kal, and Tran is a pratyahara has formed. That is, that is what it's saying. So that I think it should be Brahmano Jidnyasa, but on the other hand, Brahma Jidnyasuho will be Dvitiya there. By because 2369 will block the 65 because it says upratyaya is used. Okay. Okay. So then he says swamukhaihi, swashiro. He says by his faces, means by his heads basically. Swashirobhihi, prajvatikam shiras. So swasya mukhaihi. So with his own heads. Achiteshwaram. No commentary, by the way. No commentary. You understand it, this is a simple samasa. Achitaha Ishvaraha yena saha. Then Tulita Kailasa is Utkripta Rudradrim. This he's not given Vigravakyam as such. Same Vigravakyam, similar Vakyam, Tulitaha. Tulyam. Vigravakyam is Tulyam, is the same. This Tulitaha Kailasaha yena saha. Utkriptaha Rudradrihi yena saha. So Tam Evam Shaurya Virya Sattva Sampannam. So he had this Shaurya. So he was brave, Virya. So he was powerful, Sattva, strong, Sattva Sampannam. That he had all this quality, Shaurya Virya Sattva Sampannam. So he has the, he had strength, power, bravery, everything he had, Sattva Sampannam. So he had everything he had. See, the word Sattva has many meanings, okay? Sattva has many meanings. Sattva is Sattva Gunaha. Sattva can probably mean also means existence. Let's look at what Apteji says about Sattva. Sattva. So it has Sattva can also mean like your the stuff you're made of, you know, like your Sattva. Okay, Sattva. Sattvam says that being, existence, nature, essence, inborn character, disposition, life, spirit, your life, spirit, vitality. So vitality, consciousness, mind, sense, embryo, substance, a thing, wealth, elementary substance, evil spirit, goodness also, of course, sattva gunaha, sense, truth, reality, certainty. Here, this is the one. Strength, energy, courage, vigor, power, inherent power. The stuff of which a person is made, that is Sattva. So he had that. So he had that. So he was, Sampannam is endowed. He was endowed with all of these. Shaurya, Virya, Sattva Sampannam. Mahaviryam. So he was a very powerful enemy. Aratim, Shatrum. Ramaha. Why did he regard very highly? Because he gives a nice commentary here. Gunagrahitvat. Again, look at the appreciated word tvat again. Tvat. So gunan grihnati tachilaha gunagrahi. Because Sri Rama appreciated, means he took, means graha is to take. Means that he accepted, means he appreciated good qualities. So Rama was one who appreciated the good qualities even in his enemy. So gunagrahitvat. So Ramasya gunagrahitvat. And then jetavyoutkarshasya jetuhu swotkarsha hetutvacha. Means that the utkarsha of the jetavya, one is to be conquered. Jetum yogyaha jetavya. His utkarsha. So the excellence of the one who is to be conquered. That becomes a hetu. That becomes a cause, reason for the jetu swotkarsha. So when the qualities of the one who's to be conquered, in this case the enemy, are excellent, then that becomes a cause, or that becomes an occasion to bring out the utkarsha of the winner. So Sri Rama, that's why Bhavamanyata. So he regarded his enemy very highly, because first of all he recognized that he had a number of good qualities. Gunagrahitvat, and Rama appreciated he appreciates good qualities. Not only that, he also realized that this is now an excellent, very powerful enemy that is there. That means that it is a good occasion, which will bring out, basically bring out, in English like bring out. It will bring out the excellence of the one who is the winner. So the excellence of the winner is only brought out when there is the excellent person to be defeated. Because before, when he killed the Karadushana, all that was like nothing. I mean, it didn't show the Utkarsha, Ramasya Utkarsha. So it did not nadrishyata, nadadrishe. It was not seen. Nadadrishe. So Utkarsha of Ramaha nadadrishe. It was not seen because they were not simple. He killed them with a fear. But now he had someone who was a Mahavirya Maratim. So gunagrahitvat. I think in the last time we said document, what I put in document, and then he completes it. Then he even explains further. Sadhu says, this is good. It's good that I have a very powerful enemy now. Mad vikramasya ayam paryaptaha vishayaha. So now he is a proper subject to display my courage, my skill, my valor. Sadhu, he says, good. Sadhu jatamidam. This is good that this has happened, because now I have such a powerful enemy. Madvikramasya, for my to show my power. Ayam paryaptaha vishayaha. So he's a good subject for that. He's a good subject to show my power. Iti bahumanam akarodithyartaha. So he regarded him very highly. He took him very seriously. Bahumanam means he regarded him very seriously. Akarod. Akarod is of course lang lakara. So basically he summarized the whole shloka saying that, okay, good. So this is now a good occasion, a proper target, a proper subject to display my valor. And he says bhavati kriya visheshanam. Now in the shloka, what it in the document is that jetru we just jetaram. By the way, jetaram is you get the guna adeshaha by Yutoni Sarvanamasthanayoho. And then after, if you want to practice, these rules were done in the class many times. Then Aptrishtra Nityadi. This is Anuji's section. Upadadhirga. Upadadhirga. So there because we are Trijantam. So Sarvanamasthane. So becomes the Upadadhirga. 6-4-11. 6-4. This 6-4, this is the, because no padhayaha, from there is the upadha. Anuvritti of dirgha comes from 6-1. 61. This is the dirgha anuvritti of dirgha. It's very long anuvritti of dirgha. So dirghonaha. From there we go to 6-4-18. And there we get the aptrishtrin. So this, and prior is coming Savnamasthane chasam buddha. So we get the dirgha jetaram. Now gunagrahin is very similar to Deva Suta Bhujalambin, which we just had in the prior verse itself. We had the prior class. See, I said to you, in this class, in fact, from now on in Vyakaranam, we'll not have that many new concepts. Okay, all going to be what you already practiced. So here we just in the last class, I think, last class itself, I think, we did this Deva Suta Bhujalambi. He took the help of Matali's hand and to climb the chariot. So what it says, Devasya, so we said, Deva Suta Bhujam Alambate Tachilaha. Because the Sutam is 3-278, Supyajato Nistachilye. Nistachilye, sense of one who does it habitually, not just once occasionally. So it's because Gunagrahitvat, because Shri Rama always appreciates good qualities. Gunagrahitvat. So again, this is a lesson for us. Should cultivate good qualities. The Rama appreciates good qualities. So Deva Bhuja. So in this case, we'll have Guna. Guna plus Shas plus we'll get the Grah Dhatu plus Nini. So Gunan Grishnati Tachilah Gunagrahin. So Gunagrahi when declined. All the same steps. And in addition to all these steps, so Sutram is 3-278. Of course, we have to use Upapadamating, first of all. And then the only thing in this case, we have to use the Atopadhayaha, the 7-2-1-1-6. So all the same steps, but you have to use 7-2-1-1-6 to make the Upadadhirgha, Atopadhaya, because the Pratyaya following is Nit Pratyaya. So that's what I put in the commentary. Okay, and what else did we have? Do we have anything else here? Okay, let's go to translation. I think we got most of it. But before I go there, I think I forgot to read this. Professor Devdhar has some nice notes. I think let's see what he has to say. In the last shloka, he made a comment that there is a different text which says that Bhujottamanga. The thing is that here the problem in the prior shloka is that, I mean, how many legs did Ravana have? I mean, we know he had 10 heads and 20 hands, but I don't know about this. Anyway, he has quoted the Yadava Koshas. Apparently he had 4 legs, but anyway, I guess this is all. But there's a different, instead of saying Bhuja Murdhoru Bahulyat, it says that Bhujottamanga Bahulyat. Instead of saying Murdhoru, it's Uttamanga. Uttamanga means the head. Uttamamanga means the top, but it means the head. So rather than saying bhuja murdhoru, it has bhujottamanga bahulyat. Bhujottamanga, which because they, it's debatable how many legs he has. I mean, hands and heads we know that. So that's one thing he says. And then ayatha purvaha, alone and not surrounded by his kinsfolk, bandhuvarga, as before. But eko api gives the same sense, and so this would be redundant. There's a different reading which says that yatha purvaha would be better. Instead of saying ayatha purvaha, make it yatha purvaha. So because he was he looked just as before, because that he was still looked like he was surrounded by his people because of his own many hands and heads. So anyway, there's some different texts in the prior shloka. Matruvamsha he gives as if he was in the midst of his kinsfolk on mother's side. His mother belonged to a Rakshasa, his father was a Brahmana. He says, okay. Then Somukhahi, he gives all the story here also for this shloka. This is already referred to by our poet in the prior in Sarga number 10, verse 41. It says Ravana practiced severe penance for 10,000 years. At the end of each 10,000 years, he cut one of his heads. Thus, when at the end of 10,000 years he was about to cut off his 10th and last head, I think Brahmaji appeared him and granted him a boon that he would not be able to be killed by any divine heavenly being. That's the vara that he got. Then Tulita Kailasam, he says Ravana, having deprived Kubera of his aerial car Pushpaka, was traveling around in it, and when the car was obstructed by Kailasaha, Nandi, who was there, told Ravana to go back. Lord Shiva was sporting there. But slighting that god and angry at his obstruction, he began to lift Kailasaha from its base, whereupon it began to shake and stagger from side to side. Lord Shiva then pressed down the mountain with his toe, and the arms of Ravana were crushed beneath it. He then set out a terrible roar that shook all the worlds, and therefore he got the name Ravanaha. Anyway, these are all the stories. So, okay, let's go to translation. Let's see what we have here. So 89. Okay, 89 here. Okay. Ready, sir?
Yes.
Ramaha is Ramaha.
Rama.
Thought is
Amanyata.
Amanyata. Correct. Lang lakaraha. Highly.
Bahu.
Bahu. Kriya Visheshanam of that enemy is
Aratim.
Aratim. See, the of that in this says that we say Ramam Viram Manye. So I consider Rama as a hero. That of that is understood. Okay, Aratim. Who had conquered the guard? Who had conquered? So that is
Jetaram.
The guardians of the quarters.
Lokapalanam.
Lokapalana, again the Shashti year is by Sutram Karti Karmano Kriti, who had worshipped the god Shiva.
Achiteshwaram.
Achiteshwaram. Achitaha Ishwaraha Yenasaha. By offering his own heads. Samukhahi. And who had raised up Mount Kailasa.
Tulita Kailasa.
Tulita Kailasa. Thank you, sir. Just, I mean, if you look at the translation, it speaks pretty clear, but we got all the grammar also. Okay. Navatitamaha. Thus, this is a straightforward shloka. Okay, first we got. So, Tasya Spurati Paulastyaha Sita Sangama Shansini Nichakhana Dikakrodha Sharam Savyetare Bhuje. Tasya Spurati Paulastyaha Sita Sangama Shansini Nichakhana Dikakrodha Sharam Savyetare Bhuje. So Tasya means Ramasya. Because what do we have in prior shloka? Ramaha Bhavamanyata we had. Therefore Tasya Ramasya. Spurati Paulyastya we derived many times already. We did it in 3 classes. So we can reference, we can say Pulastehe Atha Pulastasya. It says Gotrapatyam Paulastya. So that is the Gargadibhyo Yain. because we had in this two classes. We already had this in two classes. We had this one, Paulastyaha. Where do we have it? Because we at that time we used the Gargadibhya. See, Paulastya derived in verse 72. In verse 72, we derived see here we had this. In verse 72, we derived Paulastyaha, and we derived it two ways. Pulastehe gotrapatyam, all is Gargadibhyo yahi. And then so he was a grandson. Pulastasya gotrapatyam, also we did that. Pulastasya gotrapatyam. Actually, okay, fine. So we derived that. We derived a couple of times. Pulastasya gotrapatyam and also pulastehe gotrapatyam. The same thing is happening here again. So as I said, this is all only practice. So there is Sita Sangama Shamsini. So Sita Yaha Sangamaha, meeting Sita. And then Shamsin. So this is again the same kind of compound which you just saw just now. We just saw this compound in the Gunagrahin, and we just saw the same thing in the Devasuta Bhujalambin. Same thing here is this Sitayaha Sangamaha. Sita Sangamam Shamsati Tachilaha is which is Shamsa is to praise, also to tell, to narrate. In this case, to foretell, which is foretelling his meeting with Sita. So Sita Sangama Shamsini is all qualifying Bhuje. Okay. So if you take the simple shlokaha, is Paulastyaha Nichakhana. Nichakhana is very simple. Lit lakaraha. Dhatu khan. Khan is to dig. Upasarga is ni. Nitara means he dug deep. What did he dig deep? Bhuje Nichakhana. So he kind of embedded, to embed. So Ravanaha embedded deep into Tasya Ramasya Bhuje. In Sri Rama's arm, he embedded Sharam. So he kind of pierced basically. He embedded his arrow deep into Sri Rama's arm. Nichakhana. So this is Nichakhana, of course, Khan Arpatya lit. This is Pratham Purusha Ekavachanam. You get the Tippa Adeshaha, get Nela Adeshaha by 482. Prasnapadanam Nalatu Sustalatu Sanalva Maha. This is all very, very many times we've done this in the class now. And then of course we get the Atopadhaya. Of course we get the Abhyasakaryam by 618, because by 1159 Dirvachanechi we have to apply 618 before applying Atopadhaya. The Abhyasakaryam, of course, we can do the Kuhosh Chuhu, then Abhyase Charcha. Haladisheshaha, Kuhosh Chuhu, Abhyase Charcha, because Kuhosh Chuhu so it will become Chakara first, then Abhyase Charcha. Nothing special in the form Nichakhana. And you can practice all this on the website, Lit Lakara. We've seen many examples we have seen. Then Adhika Krodha is also simple Bahuri compound. Adhikaha Krodha Yasya Saha. One who was more angry, basically extremely angry. He was furious. Basically furious. Adhika Krodha. Sharam Savyetare Bhuje. Savyetare means, you can look at the commentary here. Savya itaraha yasmat. Itaraha means the other. So one whose other was the left. Understand? So one whose other was the left. Means dakshine ityartha. Right hand. Savyetara. This is the thing in this language. You have this usage. One whose other is that. Means the other one, basically. Savyetara. So savyaha is left. Savyaha itaraha. Yasmat. So the left is the other than this. So other than which is the left. One other than which is the left means is basically the right. Savyetare. And look at the commentary. Just says dakshine. So if you don't understand the word savyetare, you leave it and say dakshine. So saying savyetare, say dakshine. Say dakshine. Savyah itaraha yasmat savyate dakshine. The question comes here is that, no, why not say savyetarasmin? Why say savyetare? Because itara is sarvanama shabda, isn't it? So then we have what? Smat sminau. Smat sminau. Smat sminau. So in 7.1, again, this all reminds me of my teacher all the time. He always told me in the first half, in the first part of this first pada of 7 chapter, we get the pratyaya adeshaha. Whenever an adesha takes the full substitution, all the sutras come in beginning of 7.1, and a lot of those are very, very important rules. And there comes nyasigno smat sminau. So the ni pratyaya becomes smin. Now the question comes is that, why not say savyetarasmin? How we get savyetare? Then he gives the commentaries, na bahuvrihau iti itara shabdasya sarvanama sanya pratishedhaha. Na bahuvrihau says, in a bahuvri compound, the sarvanama shabdaha will not retain its sarvanama sanya. It will lose the sarvanama sanya. Part of bahuvri compound. So nabbahuvrihau. Look at the number, by the way. 129. We have sarvadini sarvanamani, right? Sarvadini sarvanamani, which is bahuvaram adhitam idam sutram asmabhihi. So sarvadini sarvanamani is 1127. Then comes vibhasha diksamase bahuvrihau. Which is diksamasaha. It's a some directions. Like Uttara Purva. So Uttara Purva means like northeast, like that. So those kind of compounds, it will be vibhasha. That Purva will retain this sarvanamas sanya vibhasha. But normally in bahuvriha, in a bahuvri compound, these pronouns lose their sarvanamas sanya. So nabbahuvriha means that in fact, also says dvandvecha, tritiya samase, dvandvecha, dvandva samasa also do sarvanama sanya. So if you want to do some homework, look at this. This is a nishedha. Nishedha for sarvanama sanya. If you have sarvanama sanya, you should have had samyetarasmin nyasignoh smatsminau. But if it has not become like that, means something has happened here. What has happened in the bahuvri compound, it removes that these, I should say the pronouns sarvanama shabdaha, sarvanama sanya nishidyate bahuvrihau. So that is what's happening. If you look at quickly, want to look at this sutram, na bahuvrihau, na bahuvrihau. Any new sutram, please repeat it as many times as you can. Na bahuvrihau, na bahuvrihau. Says that sarvanama sanyayayam tadanta vidher abhyupagamad, because tadanta vidhi, so because itara is sarvanama sanya, so word ending in itara should also have sarvanama sanya, yena vidhi sadantasya. But bahuvriher api sarvadyantasya sanyasyat iti pratisheda arabhyate. But you don't want that. Bahuvrihau samase sarvadini sarvanama sanyani na bhavanti. So bahuvri samasa, it doesn't come. So I said, now we know the basic vyakaranam, so we can now just add these extra things on the side. It says that in a bahuvri compound, ending in sarvanama shabdaha, the sarvanama sanya is no longer there. So na bahuvrihau iti itara shabdasya sarvanama sanya pratishedha. See, that, as I said to you in this class again and again, if you can understand what the commentator is trying to say, then our job is done. Then we can understand what Kalidasa is trying to say. He says, then bhuje sharam nichakhana is nikhatavan. He says dhatu is kha. Nikhatavan nikuparya shabda pratyaktavatu. This is the nishtha pratyaktavatu. But this is used in the active. Because both kta and ktavatu have this sanya of nishtha. Taktavatu nishtha. Taktavatu nishtha right here. Then the nishtha can be used in bhutarthe by 3, 2, 1 or 2. But among those two, tayor madhye kta pratyaya bhavakramanoha eva prayujyate. Among those two, pratyakta is used only bhavakramanoha. Because of what? 3, 4, 70, which we just saw today. Tayoreva krityakta kalarthaha. But the pratyak tavatu is also nishtha sanya, but that is used default kartari krita. So that's why we call it the past active participle. That tavatu pratyaha. Like aham gatavan, aham kritavan, aham bhuktavan, aham drishtavan. Means I did, etc. I ate, and so on. So that pratyas ktavatu. The commentary, anything else? Adhika krodha. See how it takes it. The subject, object, verb. So paulastyaha sharam nichakhana. Then he gives an adjective adhika krodha. No commentary. Adhikaha krodha yasya saha. Now there's one thing, spurati. Do you know we just saw in the prior verse somewhere here? We saw the sun, right? Sun. This is the pradipadikam sat. Shatan the pradipadikam. Same thing, spurat. Spurat means throbbing. Throbbing. This throbbing is this hand, which is this adjective of bhuje. The throbbing means spandamane. Means it was twitching. His right hand, which was twitching. So Ravanaha, he dug his arrow deep into the right hand of Rama, which was twitching. It was twitching because it is Sita Sangama Shamsi, because it was foretelling. It was indicating that it was Shubha Shakuna. It is supposed to be a good omen. So it is indicating that he will meet Sita shortly. So in that right hand, which was foretelling the meeting with Sita, by its throbbing, the throbbing right hand, in that Ravana dug his arrow deep. So if you look at again this is again, we have done it many times in the class, this one, which is, if you take the dhatu spurane, spurane means to kind of to throb, to twitch, to shake. So spura plus lat pratyaya by vartamane lat. But we can use, instead of bringing tipta ji, etc., by lasya, we can bring in the participle form, the krit pratyaya, vartamane kritantaha, vartamane krit pratyaya, vartamane krit, which is lataha. Says the Shatrishana Chava Pratama Samadhikarane. Shatrishana Chava Pratama Samadhikarane. Shatrishana Chava Pratama Samadhikarane. So Lat can take the Pratyaya Shatru or Shanach in Apratama Samadhikarane. Here we have Saptami here, Spurati. So that sutram is right after Vartamane Lat, and then we have Lata Shatrishana Chava Pratama Samadhikarane. We have used this many times. This is what the present participle. And then Shatru, which one do we use? Left parasma padam, tangana vatmani padam. Because this pura is a parasmapadi dhatu, because what we have is, of course, which you also seen repeatedly, is left parasma padam, tangana vatmani padam. So the shanash will be atmani padam, and Shatru will be parasma padam. So because the dhatu is parasmapadi, we use the pratyaya Shatru. So let us Shatrishana Chava Pratama Samadhikarane. Now the important thing is that don't jump to the conclusion that the Spurati is a Tingantam Padam. Be very careful here, because you might think Spurati is Tingantam Padam. But then we also have Nichakhana. We have two of them now. You start thinking. So you keep the option open. One like Spurati, Gachati, Pashyati, Bhavati. And the poets use this. The Saptami Antam. So in that, or when this was happening, so as this was happening, so this in this case this is simply a adhikarane. So means that in that hand which was shaking. So in the shaking, this is not a Tingantam Padam. It could have been a different context. The form is the same. So Spurati could be Pratham Purusha Ekvachanam Lat Lakaraha. It can be Saptami Ekvachanam of the Krudanta. Pradipadikam Spurat. So be very careful of this. So make this point, please. Spurati, this is a Saptamyantam. It's not a Tingantam Padam. It's not a Pratyaya tip. And mark that, because like Pashyati, any of these, it can be Saptamyantam. It is not. In Gita, I don't think we had an example of this in Gita, but that's what it is. So we continue with that. We get the Pratyaya Shatru. Once we get Shatru, then of course we get the Tudadi Ganaha. In fact, we know it's Tudadi Ganaha because if you don't have the Puganta Laghu Putasija has not applied. So this has to be Tudadi Ganaha. You understand? The pratyaya being shap, because of kartari shap comes now. Because this is sarvadhatuke, right? Because pratyaya shatra, sanya of sarvadhatukam, but things is sarvadhatukam. So kartari shap comes. But shap is an apavada of shap is tudadibhyashaha. This has to be tudadi ganaha, because otherwise you have to, because this pratyaya sha becomes sarvadhatukam apit. Sarvadhatukam apit 1 to 4 becomes nitvat, and therefore 115 kriticha stops the gunadesha for the ukaraha, which is praptaha by puganta lagupatasya cha. Therefore, we just looking at this form, we can just look at this form and recognize that this has to be a tudadi ganaha. It should become sporati otherwise. It should become sporati. Sporati. Then becomes spurati. Tudari ganaha. So we have this form. Then, as I said, because of the sarvadhatukam apit, there is no gunadeshaha. It becomes nitvat, and then 115 kiniticha stops the gunadeshaha. It would have come by pugandala gopatasya cha. Anubandha lopaha, and finally atogune spurat. Now spandamana very similar, but now spadi is kinchit chalane. Kinchit means just to shake a little bit, to twitch, to slightly throb. So kinchit chalane. We have the same steps. Of course, this is idit. So first thing, idito num dhatoho, which also we have studied. If you want to practice any of these rules, you can practice these. You can look at the website, idito num dhatoho. Dhatu is an idit. When ikara is an it, it is the num akamaha. Then midachontyat paraha. So we get spanda plus lat, and then in this case we get shanach. This dhatu atmanepadi dhatu. So we get shanach because of tangana atmanepadam, same sutram, tashtri shanacha avaprathama samadhi karane. Then we follow the steps. In this case we get shap, this is vadi ganaha, anubandha lopaha, and we get spanda ana. We get the muk amahama, ane muk, adanta mangam, followed by the pratyaya ana. Then the adanta mangam takes the muk agamaha, ane muk. Then adyanta takitau anubandha lopaha spandamana. So this is what we have. So spandamana, in that arm which was throbbing, and which was foretelling, which was indicating the meeting with Sita. Ravana who was furious, in that right arm, he dug deep his arrow in that right arm. So let us now take the translation, and it says, okay, next one. Okay, see, you can put this one here. Okay. Okay. Ready, sir?
Yes.
The son of Pulastya, which is
Paulastya,
being greatly incensed, being furious.
Adhika Krodha.
Adhikaha krodha, yes. So, drove deep. This one. Nichakhana. Khan is to dig. Nichakhana, he drove deep, dug deep. An arrow.
Sharam.
In his is Tasya. Tasya is Ramasya, his. The in is a Saptami. Right is
Savyetare.
So Savyaha Itaraha Yasmat. So one other than which is the left. So means the right. Arm is this one. Ujay. Which was throbbing.
Spurati.
This is Saptami Ekvachanam. And which therefore, I think, this is a commentary by the way. Ata eva. Ata means therefore. Ata eva means therefore. And means therefore, from that, so therefore, because it was throbbing, it was indicating the meeting with Sita.
Sita Sangama Shamsini.
Yeah, Shamsini. It is prognosticated. Shamsa is to tell, to narrate, in this case to foretell. His union, his understood union is Sangamaha. With Sita is Sita. So Sitayaha Sangamam Shamsati Tachilaha. So that's so tasmid. Okay, thank you, sir. And now we have 10 minutes here. Next one is also really not that hard, difficult shloka. It's straightforward. So now we come to the other side now. What did Rama do for that? So he said, Ravanasyapi Ramasto Hitva Hridayam Ashugaha Vivesha Bhuvam Makyatum Uragebhya Iva Priyam. Ravanasyapi Ramasto Bhitva Hridayam Ashugaha Vivesha Bhuvam Akyatum Uragebhya Iva Priyam. So Ravanasya Api Ramastah Dhatu Asukshepane means to throw, kshiptah. So means in this case, in English we say shot. Shot by Rama. Thrown means shot. This is a simple titya samasaha. Ramena astaha ramastaha. Titya samasaha means shot by Shri Ramaha. Bhitva. Bhitva is bid. I think vidir, probably vidarane, I would think. Bid is to split. So having split. Now we have learned this many times is that we see the pratyaktva. We have to think of Sutram 3.4.21. Samana kritrikayoho purvakale. Which means that immediately we know the samana karta doing two actions. And this is the prior action. And then the next action is vivesha. And who's the karta over here? Is the ashugaha. Ashbanaha. Ashugachatiti ashugaha. Ashugaha. Sushir, okay, bhitva, dhatu, bhid. It's a, see now, as I said, in the entire class today, I think the only new thing we really had was this sutram, na bahuvrihau, na bahuvrihau. Everything else, I think, is everything we are doing in the class is just revising what we have learned. So this dhatu is bhidir. So if you look at the dhatu bhid, it is here. So bhitva is pratyaktva. So let's see bhidir. I think bhidir vidarane is to tear, to pierce, to split. Bhidir vidarane. And that dhatu bhidir is anudattu padeshaha. Because of this, it is in that famous sutram, which you spent one whole class on that sutram for good reason, because this is something which should be in your mind at all times. So the moment you have pratyaya, which is valadi, ardhadhatukam, then you should think of 7 to 10. Ardhadhatukasya valade. And then 7 to 35. 7 to 35. Ardhadhatukasya valade. And Nisheda Sutra for that is 7 to 10. Ekachupadesha nudatat. And danteshu, ada, khuda, khida, chida, tuda, nuda, padya, bhida. So bhida is anudattu padeshaha. So there is no idagamaha. So then we just do kharicha, and get the form bhitva. So bhitva, hridayam. So having pierced Ravana's heart. Ashugaha banaha. Ashugaha also we have done in the prior classes. Ashugaha is simply Ashugachiti iti ashugaha. This is a pratyarda. This is just a copy paste from prior class, by the way. You want to take some homework? Look at 3.2.148. Of course, first of all, upapadam ating, then tatra upapadam saptami stham, and then 3.2.48. 3.2.48 is gives us the authority to use the pratyarda with the dhatu gam. When these upada is this anta, atyanta, advan, dura, para, sarva, ananta. So anta, atyanta, adva, dura, para, sarvananteshu daha. But that time we don't have that. We have ashu. So how can we use that? Because we have seen in the prior class that there is a vartikam on that which can extend that, which extends that, and that is the vartikam which is saying that. In fact, I have it here in the document itself. I have it. It says that anyeshvapi drishyate. Not only those upapadas, which is the anta, atyanta, and so on, but others also. Because that sutram only listed a few of those. The anta, atyanta, advan, etc. But anyesh vidrishyate. So is this dhatu gam can take the pratyaya da from upada samasa with a variety of upadas. Not only the one listed in 3 to 48. So we use that vartikam and we can get, of course, when you get the pratyaya da, again we do a T lopaha. Baditva samarthya bhasyapi tirlapa. We just did that today also. Even though Angam does not have bhasanya, the fact that the pratyaya is a dit pratyaya, we can take the nyapakam and do that. This also, I'm sorry, this Vartikam on 3 to 48 says da prakarane anyeshvapi drishyate. Or also Vartikam on 3 to 101 anyeshvapi drishyate. We can use that one also. This entire thing is I'm copying from a prior class, okay? So you want to take some homework in 3 to 48 Vartikam. This 3 to 101 Vartikam also is there. So basically we have to extend one of these to use the pratyaya da in this case, and then do T lopa have a 6443 with the nyapakam, because the dit karana samarthya the bhasyapi tir lopa ashuka. So one which goes fast going. Okay. So what we have is that, so that banaha ramena astaha ramastaha banaha ashugaha ravanasya. So api means this is like a retaliation. So Ravana hit him on the right hand, then Rama's arrow also on the other hand, on this side now, having pierced Ravana's heart, it bhuvam vivesha, entered the earth. Bhuvam vivesha. Vivesha, of course, is lakara, lit, very straightforward. Pratham purusha ekavachanam, pratyaya is tip becomes null, and then we do abhyasa karyam haladishesha, and then pugantala bhupadasya cha vivesha. These all we can practice in the website with litlakaraha. So bhuvam is the bhu. So what happens? We get the uvangadeshaha by achishta dhatu bhuvam yor yang uvangau. So bhuvam is the uvangadeshaha by 6477. If you want to practice this, so rather than taking rather than getting amipurvaha, it takes the uvangadeshaha. But this was Sutam 6477. And then why did it do that? Priyam akyatum iva. Akya comes in Gita. Akya hi me ko bhavanugra rupo. Namo sute deva varaprasida. Akya hi me ko bhavanugra rupaha. So who are you? Please tell me. Akya hi. Arjuna says, please tell me who you are of this very fierce form. Akya hi me ko bhavanugra rupo. Namo sute deva varaprasida. Vijñāti vichchāmi bhavantamadhyam hi prajanami tava pravrittim. So akyahi. Who's over here? Akyahi. There is akya. Akya is to tell, to narrate, to relate. So akhyatum, to relate. And then, so this is a kriya. So this is 3-3-10. If you want to take some homework, your time is up now. But if you want to take some homework, 3-3-10. Again, we should look in the prior. You know, this adhikara bhavishyati, which we have been entering, which we have been looking at in the Saturday class, bhavishyati. Pratyaya is tumunvalau kriyayam kriyarthayam. Because this is the viveshaha. So this veshana kriya, this act of entering, is a kriyartha kriya. Because it is object of entering is to narrate the good news. Priyam is the good news unto the serpents who are in patalaha. Because Ravana should torment them also. So Kanya Paharanadina, by taking their daughters and wives, he used to torment, he used to harass the serpents. So this Rama's arrow, he split Ravana's heart, and it entered the earth as if to give the good news to the serpents down there. So this is retaliation. And then Uragebhyaha, you can take for homework. Also we've done in prior classes. Is Urasa Gacchati iti Uraga. The same sutram which is 3-4-248. It has the Vartikam on it. It says that this it takes the sakara lopaha also. So urasa gacchati urakaha is a vartikam under so for if you want to take it for homework, here it is urasa gacchati iti urakaha. It says urasa, it says uraso lopascha. So when uras is there, that the as upadam, then the gam dhatu is a pratyaya da, uraso lopascha. By alontyasya, the ending sakara of uras takes lopaha. Uraso lopascha. Uraso lopascha. So you can take for time is up now. Take for homework that vartikam. Again, this is just a copy paste from prior class. Okay, let's go through all the steps. Uregebhyaha. If you want to look at the Chaturthi Vidhanam, is by Chaturthi Sampradane. But the Sampradana Sanya 1432, it is the intent, the object of an action is meant for whom. So here, so Karmanayam Avipraiti. Sa Sampradanam. So Karmanayam Avipraiti. So Karmanayam Avipraiti. So 1-4 for homework, 1-4-32. Karmanayam Avipraiti. Karmanayam Avipraiti Sa Sampradanam. Because the Sampradana Sanya. And that is for homework. So that Uraga got Sampradana Sanya and by 2-3-13 Chaturthi Sampradane Chaturthi Bhakti. So that homework is that one. Then this Vartikam on 3-48, and the Uvangadeshaha for Bhuvam, and this one already we did this one, same thing here. Oh, then there's one more thing homework, yes, okay. Last homework is that we look at the commentary how the word Ravana is formed. Actually, it says Vishravasopatyam, Vishravasopatyam Puman Ravana, son of Vishravas. His father's name was Vishravaha, Vishravas Pratipadikam. So Vishravasaha, Apatyam Puman. How get Ravana from that? So Vishravaha Shabdad Apatyarthe Anpratye Sati Vishravaso Vishravana Ravanau iti Ravanadeshaha. I think there's a typo here. Should be Ravanadeshaha. Ravanadesha. Basically look at the Sutram Shivadibhyo and there's a Vartikam, there's a Gana Sutram under that. The Shivadi Ganaha. So Vishravas, following it be the pratyaya and not only that, what happens is that Vishravas takes the adesha of Vishravana or Ravana. So it becomes Vaishravanaha or Ravanaha. Shravanaha. Let me just take that. We'll just stop right now. Let me just check the typo. I think it's a typo. Yeah, this is a typo. Should be Ravana adesha. Should be Ravana adesha. Of course, then we get Taditeshva Chamadehe, we get the Adivriddhi. Okay, let us stop with that. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate, Ramam Ramesham Bhaje, Ramena Bhyata Nishachara Chamu, Rama Tasmai Namaha, Rama Nasti Paranam Parataram, Ramasya Dasosmyaham, Rame Chittale Sada Bhautame Bhurama Mamuddhara, Rama Rameti Rameti, Rame Rame Manorame, Sahasranama Tulyam, Rama Nama Varanane, Sri Rama Nama Varanana.